Hey guys, it's Melissa Detmer, Norwex Independent Sales Consultant and Vice President Sales Leader and leader of the Spring Cleaning Mamas and Papas. I know it's late, so if you are joining this live, actually most people probably will not be joining this live because this is like really late. But if you're watching the replay, just say replay in the comments below because I'd love to know that you caught the replay. So I want to talk to you today about how I organize my paper clutter, I guess, is if you want to call it that, and how I organize my communication for myself and also with my assistant that I have. I have an office assistant that comes a couple days a week, and she helps me with just my inventory and with getting thank you notes out and with getting packages out and stuff like that. So I just want to show you what I do. But what I have is a party summary sheet for every party that I have. So this is something that I created. It's something that I set up for me. Hey Nancy, I set it up for myself and also and I can share it with anybody too, but it's very detailed because I'm detailed, and what I was finding was that there were a lot of things that were falling through the cracks, so I needed something that was going to get all the details for me. So don't be overwhelmed by this. Find something that works for you and your system, but what I have on here at the top is just, the host, and then I also have on there who referred that person. So if she was a booking from another party, I want to know that she came from Lauren's party because that helps me communicate. Because let's say that she books a party like a month away or 2 months away or within 45 days. I want to remember because I have so many parties going on at the same time that I want to know where it came from. So that's why I have referred on there. And then I have what type of party. Was it a Facebook party? Was it a home party? Was it a Facebook Live? Was it a fundraiser? And then I have the party date, start time, and then I have on there closing date and event ID. Now that doesn't necessarily matter because we have that in the back office, but I do like to know that if the party was, just for my own information, if the party was on, in August, but I didn't close it till maybe September or October, I just kind of know that for myself. And then I have just some different steps that I do for pre-party and just it's just a pre-party checklist and host coaching. So it just reminds me. It's also a way for me to communicate again with my assistant. So she tells me when she puts the date on there when she sends like a host packet, and then it also reminds me to I know when it says 2 days before, 5 days before, 6 days before, that kind of stuff on the host coaching. So whatever you do for your host coaching, you can include that. Now mine's always changing because I'm always doing different types of parties. But the idea is the same. Then over here, I have the orders and the follow-up. Okay, so you're not going to be able to see this unless I share that, but this is basically how I communicate that I've sent a thank you note or I've done a follow-up. So I have on there that I send them a thank you email. So what I do is when I get an email from Norwex that says that someone placed an order, and this is a little bit complicated, but what I go in and I reply to that email, and then I take out I change the subject name and I just say, thank you for your order, instead of you just got a Norwex order, web order, or whatever it was. I just changed that so that I can reply to them. And then I take out the part that says, Melissa, you just got an order. And then I respond to them and I tell them, thank you for your order. You're going to love your such and such and such. I'm here to answer questions. And then I invite them to my VIP group. So if it was an online party, they may have missed an information, something about my VIP group, because we can invite people who are customers to our VIP group. So I have a closed group VIP group, so that I can share that link in that email. Hey Shelly, hey Amy. So I have on here that one of the columns on here is that I invited them to my VIP, but that's part of the email. I also have a column that says Facebook wall. So if it's a Facebook party, I thanked them on the wall if it's the night of the party. And then I have 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months for the 222 formula. And then I have the amount. Now I don't write the exact change, but I just want to know, did she spend $100? Did she spend $2? Not $2, but $9? Did she spend $300. I do a gift for anyone who spends over $100. So this is just a way for me to just quickly glance and see who my power buyers were, who were the ones that were really into it, who bought the, who spent the most money, or who was just there to help their friend and bought a kitchen cloth, or maybe they're timid, So it just it just helps me. And then I have their name on there. Over on the other side, I have more contact information, and then I have the party stats. Okay, so this is what I enter in at the end after the party is closed. So I have on there like the subtotal A. I have the difference between attending guest, non-attending guest, host overage, and then I have how much commission did I earn. So I go in and I write that out, and then how much did the host earn total. And then I have another section down here that breaks down the host rewards. So it's like how many buying guests, how many bookings, how much was the host free dollars, and then did they earn the different packages. And I have it where it's just a check mark where I can just check the box. Okay. And then some months we have host exclusive, so I have that on there. And then did I give them an extra incentive? So like sometimes I'll do host bingo, or I'll do that tic-tac-toe or tic-tac-woe or whatever it is. Sometimes I'll give an extra incentive if, let's say I'm doing squee parties, so I'm incentivizing hosts if they try out this new kind of party. So I'm doing incentives. So I just write that down so that I can look back later and see that. Okay, now the next thing I have is a section for booking. So that's where I write down, who booked a party and when they booked it. And then did I send them a host or did I put it in the back office? Did I put it on my calendar? Because that's really important. And then did I create a new sheet, and then did I send them a host packet? So again, that's something that I can communicate. It's because I do so many parties that I can't remember what I did what for each one. So that helps me. My goal is to have at least 2 bookings per party. So I actually have 4 spots, and I'm hoping for 4, but I want 2 as the minimum. Remember the 4-2-2 formula. The next section is for recruiting conversations. It has on their recruits, but it really is just the conversations. So did I have a conversation with them? Did I send them an email, or did I follow up? I set up a Zoom call, or I meet them for coffee. So I have room for their name. And then did I send any prizes? So if it's an online party, I will write down what prizes I sent and who I sent them to. And then at the bottom it says information about closing the party. So I close the party in the back office. I thank them on the Facebook wall, or I, sent out a text or whatever it was, however it was that I ran the party. And then I have a place that says entered in party stats. Now I keep a Google sheet. I'm very much a Google person, and I like to digitize everything, but I keep a Google sheet of all my party stats. And the party stats I get from here, up here in the top. The subtotal A of the party. So I want to know the total party sales. How much commission did I make? And then the total host rewards. So I want to know 3 things. I want to know party sales, commission that I made, and dollar amount that the host earned. And then I keep that in a Google Sheet, and I also I write down what kind of party it was. Because at the end of the year, what I like to do is have be able to find my average. What was my average Facebook party? What was my average home party? What was my average squee party? And I'm able to find that quickly because I or my assistant am entering this information in as we go. So it's not so overwhelming. But let's say that we got, a couple months behind. We could quickly go and through my sheets and get this. All right. So then what I do is if it's an online party, let me see if I can find one real fast for you. If it's an online party, this is an example one that was filled out. And I will print out, when it's closed, I will print out the first 2 pages. You don't have to do this, but that's just something I do so that I can quickly see, because it has all the order names on there. And I staple it on. If it's a home party, anyways, if it's a home party, I just staple on. I don't do that many home parties. Here's one. If it's a home party, I staple on the actual the order forms that I had them fill out. So it's just stapled right there. Now I give the pink copy to the to all the guests when they're at checkout, and then the host, I usually give the yellow slip, but sometimes I forget, and then the white slip stays with me. Some people like to shred that information, some people don't. It's just, I think it's your own integrity, preference, whatever you want to do. All right, so then what do I do with these sheets? Well, I have 4 folders, and my the 4 folders are, and they're just literally, I mean, they're so worn because I've done this for a long time, but I have a folder for future parties. So I can open up, remember how I had a space on here that I created a new sheet? I'm able to, as soon as I create the new sheet, I put it in the future folder. So they're in order by date. So I know the one on the top is going to be the one that is the coming up next. So I can quickly scan and say, okay, I've got these 2 coming up, and I pull them, and I usually have them working on my desk. I don't have this you could do this in a binder system if you wanted to. I've seen people have all sorts of systems. This works easy for me because I can just grab the folder and go, because I'm not usually in this space where I do a lot of work, but usually I'm at my desk. The next folder I have are, I call it no date parties. So let's say that someone rescheduled a party, or they had to cancel a party, but we didn't exactly reschedule. I'll put it in here in the no date parties for it's not really a future party. It's just kind of hanging out there. The other thing that I have in here is random orders. So I am part of a networking group, and I sell at my networking group out of my inventory, and I keep a paper copy of all that. So I like to know at the end, you know how I told y'all I have my Google Sheet? When my random orders get to about $1,000, just adding them up, remember I keep just a random, just a generic, rounded up total right here. When it gets to about 1,000, I basically close it and put it, close up this sheet, okay? Then what I do is I have a closed party folder. So this one's much thicker, and it's just, I just know that once it's closed, it goes in here, and I can go back and get information from it if I need to for that year. The last folder I have is open parties. So I have a, if I'm doing an online party, or I have a home party that hasn't closed yet, so it's kind of sometimes this is 2 days, sometimes this is a week, sometimes this is a month, if it just drags on and on, if the host doesn't reply or whatever, I have one going on like that, it goes in here. So my four folders are open parties, no date parties, closed parties, and future parties. Do y'all have any questions about this? Before I go on to, I think I was going to do one other thing, but I can't remember what I was going to do. I also take some information from this and I have a recruiting conversation. I actually will take that information and put it in another Google Sheet. And this is basically my my living document of a Frankie list. So I have future hosts, maybe a host and recruits that basically say no, not yet, or maybe later, but don't commit to anything right now. So I keep that. This is one reason why I have it separated out, is so that I can take that information and put it in a document, so that when there is a month like Join for Free or a reduced incentive month, then I'm able to quickly go through that Google Sheet, or I could go through these again if I don't update it. So yes, so Nancy says I do save the paperwork. I don't print out the entire closed party, because that would be a lot of paper. I usually try to do double-sided, but my printer's not working double-sided right now, so that's why it's actually 2 sheets. But yeah, I do close it. I do keep that paperwork. That way, you never know. You never know what's going to happen if something goes poof. I do have a document of this. Anyway, so any other questions that you guys have, just comment below, because I know this is really late at night, so I know there's going to be more replay watchers than awake watchers. I think that's it for now. Yeah, so I hope that was helpful. If this was helpful, would you mind sharing this with somebody on your team? You can comment below, or you can share it, and they'll see it tomorrow or the next day or whatever. So I appreciate you guys. I hope that was helpful. Okay, sorry. Nancy's asking, do you put this information in Trello? Currently, I'm not using Trello for this information. I use Trello to communicate with I have a virtual assistant and I have an office assistant. So I communicate some of this with them, but I do not, I pretty much keep my stats. Oh, I know what I was going to show you. Hold on. Oh, y'all are going to like this. This was not my original idea. This was from Tag Team. And my original intention for this, I have not used, but I'll just show you. I made a cash calendar. So I have a calendar for every month of the year. And so what I do is I have my assistant, or I could do it. I've done it many times. Right in there, those 3 stats that I told you about: the sales, the amount that the host earned for free, and then how much cash I earned or commission. So I can quickly see that in January of this year, I mean, you can just see how many parties I had, and the date, I put it on the date that I actually had the party, not necessarily when I closed it. I often do more than 1 party per night, so sometimes I just move it over into another date. But at the end of the year, I do a summary at the bottom. So I do basically I can see what sales I had, and I have all this in the Google sheet, but you never know. I just like to have both. This is probably too much work, but how much inventory did I sell? How much was how many recruits did I have? And this was in December. So how many recruits did I have for the whole year? What was my total in sales? That kind of stuff. So the idea that I had, and again, this wasn't my original one, but the idea that came from the Tag Team was that you could take this to a home party, and when you're talking about the business opportunity, you can just pass this around and you can say, hey, why don't you take a look at my calendar? And it doesn't, I guess you could use it also for open dates, but the idea of this is that someone would say, what? She earned $299 in free product, and you made $217 in cash? Or you sold, you had $1,000 party, and that host earned $593 for free. I want to host a party. Or you made $418 at that party. Whoa. So this is kind of like a booking seed and also a recruiting seed. I've only done it a couple times. I'm not sure how I feel about it, but that is an idea that was my original idea in creating these, and I've just kept it up for a couple years now. Because I don't know, it's kind of fun to go back and see quickly at a glance what my calendar looks like in a snapshot. So Tiffany's asking if I sell something on hand at my parties. Sometimes I do. So sometimes I'll take the Just Add Water package or a Safe Haven package, and I'll have it there packaged up, and I'll sell it. And then what I'll do is have, when I place the order again, but I have it shipped back to me basically to just replace my income. So does that answer that question? I know that some of our teammates, I know Sarah Shoemaker, she sells everything from her inventory. So she has everything in her car, and I don't know all the details. She could tell you more, but she has everything in the trunk of her car, and then she's able to just hand out all the orders or fill the orders right there before they even leave. That's not how I do my home parties, but that's just what she does, and it works. She's obviously very successful. So, but I do like to have 1 or 2 packages, because I'm just in a different place. But I like to have 1 or 2 packages available, ready for someone to say yes, because it's kind of hard to wait, you know. Now, I will say the majority of my parties are online, so I don't have as much practice, but I do probably 2 to 3 home parties a month, and then the rest are online parties. So yeah. Any other questions that you guys have while I'm here live? Remember, you can share this if this is helpful for someone else. And then you can comment or ask questions below. So let's see. Yeah. Yes, I know a lot of people don't want to clean until their Norwex arrives. So it's really helpful for those people. And it's kind of an incentive. It's like if you take this, and I know several of my teammates, they'll take 3 or 4 or 5 of the Safe Haven packages, or whatever package they want to really push, I guess, or not push, that's not the right word, but offer that night. And so they'll have those packages available for them. So it's really helpful. Yep. So one of the reasons I don't is because I want to do, for me, I like to do all or nothing because it gets kind of tricky. But that's totally up to you and how you do yours. So anyways, if you're just joining us, go back and watch the replay, because I was talking about how I organize my party clutter, my party paper clutter, and how I have the different folders. And I hope that's helpful for you guys. And if y'all have any questions, just let me know. Have a good night. Bye.